Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Short Pit, a NASCAR podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Chesney. Alongside me, as usual, is my co-host, Chris Prince. Chris, how are you?
Doing all right, sir. Doing all right.
Love to hear it. Below us is our guy, Cam, here every week, almost. Cam, how are you?
Pretty dandy, sir.
The show's Iron Man is missing. BR is missing this week. Had some teeth removed. He'll be fine next week, but we'll give him the week off. No stress. I still think he's whooping all of our asses as far as being here. Perfect attendance award.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I know I've missed a few, so
I missed like a month when I was moving, so
I think I might have like 3 misses, and he probably has like
2.
This is not 2. Yes, he might have. I think he has got me by 1 or 2.
He's still the show's Iron Man. We'll have to create that graphic at the end of the year. Either way, coming off of my home race of Loudon, I was in attendance. Some fun things happened. We'll get into that. It was the first race of the round of 12, and young Ryan Blaney advances. We got a crew chief change. We got some in-house feuds with a certain Toyota camp. And then we'll preview Kansas and do all that fun stuff and whatever happens in between in about 45 minutes to an hour. So, without further ado, Loudon. I was at both races. I was at the truck race on Saturday, and I was at Cup on Sunday. The truck race was actually pretty interesting for a Corey Hine belt to ass. Those trucks, they're nothing if not aggressive, and that was clearly evident. Made for some solid racing. It was beautiful weather, unbelievable. I did get a little sunburn if you couldn't see it. I think it's better that you can't. And yeah, the truck race wasn't the most fun thing that happened on Saturday. So I texted Chris while I was in line to get a Bowman hat. And it turns out they were having an autograph session. You buy the hat, you pay $40, and give you a wristband to come back and get that thing signed and meet him. So of course I jumped all over that. If you wanted to know, Billy Byron was doing a similar thing, and his tickets were all sold out, and he was coming an hour later. Went and did that. Stood in line for about an hour. I texted Chris like, "Holy shit! Like this is actually gonna happen." Got there, got the hat signed, made him laugh, and got a picture. It was a pretty good weekend by all things considered. When somebody else talks, I'll go grab the autograph. It's right over there. But yeah, and then Cup race happened, and loved it, every bit of it, from weather to how the race actually was. I'm sure on TV it was a snooze fest, but in person there was a lot of battles through the field that I thought were very interesting. Obviously being there for Denny versus Gibbs was absolutely awesome. And a lot of notable things, a lot of things that I thought were a lot of fun. And obviously I had a tailgate of like fucking 11 people. So it was a good time at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for sure. So that was my experience of it. Chris, how was the race on TV?
it wasn't bad. I mean, honestly, I enjoyed the race probably a little more. You could see the passing more so. I mean, there were still some issues, right? But I think those are unavoidable with this car. But overall, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad race. Wasn't, especially exciting for me considering I wasn't watching it live, right? And they can't cover all the battles, like you said, through the field. But overall, pretty good race. I'm good with it.
Cam?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been on record saying that as much as I enjoy like the mystique, almost like the aura of Loudon, I've never been impressed with the racing. I enjoyed myself. I mean, obviously there was some bias to the fact that my driver was clearly the fastest car in the field for the vast majority of the race, but in general, like they could pass, which is not anywhere near a given at this track, regardless of the car, tire, horsepower, whatever. Like this track has never been very favorable to passing just because of the setup and of the track. But yeah, no, I mean, of like thinking back to other Loudon races I've watched, excluding that, wet weather like fiasco they had last year. I mean, I thought it was kind of your classic NASCAR race and kind of where the BR's phrase where it's like one of the races of all time, but I almost like mean that in a positive connotation with this race, to where like it was just a quintessential NASCAR race. It was nothing special, but I wasn't bored.
Yeah, I could agree.
No, I think that's a pretty solid way to put it. Yeah, it was awesome. I love my home track. I really do. Hopefully late August is just as good as it was in late September. I would advocate for this being a late September race every year, but I don't think I can get away with that. But
yeah,
it was certainly a fun time for sure. All right, let's get into the drama we have. The only drama really from New Hampshire that we can get into. Denny Hamlin is punting Coach Gibbs's grandson for raising him and Seabell a little too hard, almost getting Seabell in the aftermath of it all. Yeah, I haven't read all the comments coming from all sides of the camp. I read that Denny was a little pissed post race, and I did read that I think it was on X's Detrimental. He said, "Well, you'd think he want us to win the championship. Like his name is on the side of the building," in kind of a snarky tone. Chris, give me kind of your developing thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you see it, I think the shock factor is like, oh, he just wrecked Grandpa's boy there. Might be driving for himself next year if he even has a team to drive for, was kind of what I initially thought. But when you look at it too, it almost just looks like, yeah, he meant to ship him, but maybe he hit him in the wrong spot in kind of like that initial
shipped him a little too hard.
Yeah, shipped him a little too hard. In kind of that area, he was I think he was more or less trying to move him up the track, not spin him out. But either way, I'm with him. You'd think that Gibbs would want to win the championship, but at the same time, Gibbs is out there trying to win a race too. I think Larry Mack says it all the time. It's one of those things that irks him, like, oh, he's racing me too hard. That's what he's literally out there to do. He's out there to race you. Like, you're gonna have to. You
don't think he crossed the line pushing too hard?
No, I don't think he crossed the line. I mean, honestly, I think what Denny did might have been more than he anticipated, but he was trying to send a message, and the message got sent one way or the other. I think Denny's accepted the consequences of that and could really care less, in all seriousness. At this point, he wants to win a championship. So,
Cam, do you have a different take?
I mean, not entirely, but slightly. I mean, should he have wrecked him? No. I also agree with Chris that I'm not sure he meant to actually wreck him. I would imagine he didn't mean to put Gibbs like completely in the wall there. But the second thing, like, I think a lot of this is probably boiled up to where, like, I wouldn't be surprised that if you got Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, and Denny Hamlin in a dark room and you ask them about Ty Gibbs, I would not be surprised if they really don't like him. Because I mean, frankly, in comparison to the standards of performance of the team, he's been a flat out disappointment since he got put in that car. And they're all fighting for a championship, and he's not. And he's not race winning fast. He's running. What was he running then? 14th, 13th,
probably something around there.
Yeah, roughly.
And it's like, yeah, race me, but like at the same time, bro, like you're not important in this situation. Like you're not going to win this race. Whether you finish 12th or 10th means absolutely nothing to this organization. Us finishing 12th or 10th, those 2 points might actually matter in a couple weeks. So like, yeah, Gibbs shouldn't just pull over, but at the same time,
when you got a faster car behind you.
Yeah, like it wasn't just one; it was two JGR teammates behind you, and you're going like after a certain amount of laps of holding them behind you, bro. Like you got to understand that this is an organization, this is a business, this is a team, and you're really just not. You're the least important issue in this team right now because there's 4 drivers on this team. 3 of them are competing for a championship, and none of them are you.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the blowback if Seabell was involved in that?
Yeah, I think
we'd obviously come on here and still blame Ty Gibbs for not getting the hell out of the way, but
right. I think that becomes a little bigger, right? You damage Seabell and Ty Gibbs at that point. Denny's probably got a little more heat on him. Especially just with where he probably would have caught Seabell in that up against the wall. So there was going to be damage.
if he caught Bell, it was going to be like he was going to straight up just T-bone the 54. He probably would have been out pretty much.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that would have been it would have been a little more heat, right? Because you took 3 or damaged 3 out of the, or at least 2 out of those 3 would have had damage at that point. So you damage half of the organization's cars, whether he's competing or not. I'm sure Coach Gibbs isn't going to be too happy about that. But I think it's also one of those things where how much longer do you let this run and risk it being like an Austin Dillon thing? Like even Austin Dillon had backed himself into a win, sooner or later. Ty Gibbs can't even seem to freaking do that. Like he was the fastest car, arguably, at Bristol, and had a stupid mistake derail that. So I mean, it's one of those things with him.
And also, just like with anything with this, it's like when it gets to this time of year, you always hear, especially from it seems like the JGR camp, but also Hendrick also, to where they're always going, well, we just can't deal with Penske. Well, I think part of that may be that Penske runs that shit like the Navy. Like Ryan Blaney gave Austin Cindric a Daytona 500 win a few years ago because he wanted to make sure a Penske car won it. Ryan Blaney played Robin to Joey Logano at Phoenix that same year, so that just to make sure nobody could pass either one of them, even though he was faster than him. I've seen Joey Logano push Austin Cindric for an entire race. Like they run that shit like the Navy over there, and there's not these inter-team fights over there, and that might be part of the reason is why they end up so good at the end of the year is because there's no strife and they're all sharing ideas and they're not fighting with each other, where there's always seems to be an intra-Hendrick fight. There always seems to be an intra-Gibbs fight at any given time. And it's like, maybe they should learn something from that because they always find themselves at this point in the year going, well, what the fuck are we supposed to do with Penske?
Yep. I can certainly confirm that Hendrick does throw blame at each other a decent amount, especially at Kyle Larson. But all right, so there's your Joe Gibbs racing drama. I can't imagine that that's gonna play a huge factor the rest of the year, but you never know. Maybe Ty Gibbs gets a little twerpish and and ruins the season. But
the pasta,
neither here nor there.
You mean the pasta? The pasta's gonna get aggressive and actually do something? I don't foresee that happening right now.
But although he does have a history of wrecking his own teammates in big spots, so you never know.
Ty Gibbs cleaning out Hamlin at like Martinsville with the cut line.
That might get him demoted back to Xfinity by Grandpa.
That might get him killed. I don't know.
Well, you gotta hope that Coach Gibbs is a little less nepotistic than RCR, but you never know.
You would hope anyway, but also
let's hope he's not the second coming of Pop Pop.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, segueing. BR put Denny Hamlin as his terrorist of the week for wrecking Ty Gibbs. I'm gonna put my terrorist of the week as Ty Gibbs for not knowing where the hell he is and not seeing the big picture and just easing up a little on your teammate when you're not racing for a win and your spot doesn't matter, as Cam said. So Ty Gibbs is my terrorist of the week. Chris.
Yeah, I actually had Ty Gibbs too for kind of the same reason. Like, yeah, race him, but at the same time, you were in the wrong spot to be racing a guy so hard when you're not contending for anything, not even a race win at that point.
Cam, do you have a different opinion?
I want to hear the music, so no.
Well, it's not unanimous because.
Yeah. Okay. Then fine. I'll give my other opinion. I'll give it to Shane Van Gisbergen, if I could speak.
I forgot about
for qualifying 10th on an oval.
Like, Buddy just sent it down there and just wiped the 21 out. As a Ryan Blaney fan, I thank him for it because if Josh Berry never loses a track position, I don't know what occurs the rest of the race. But Buddy just sent it down there and almost wrecked the whole field.
The whole field, yeah.
I still can't believe that he qualified top 10.
and he was fast. He was like P6.
Yeah, he was hanging in there most of that stage.
Yep. Where was this luck?
Buddy said, you know what? I figured out New Hampshire.
Yeah, now we're all in trouble.
Oh God.
BR for his driver of the week picked Josh Barry. Chris, I think I know where you're gonna go with this, but I'll let you speak.
Actually, no, I didn't. I probably didn't go where you wanted. I'm going to go with Michael McDowell. Like Duke stuck around all race, got a top 10 finish and stage points in stage one. When I think some would do better than media.
And Chris sounds like a robot.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go with that.
Michael McDowell, for all those reasons that C3PO Chris said. Cam.
I'm going with Barry too. I mean, if he never loses his track position, I think he probably wins that race. He was just, it's unfortunate how unbelievably fast that team has been the last 4 weeks, and they've absolutely nothing to show for it. Like, they qualified in the top 3 at Darlington, wrecked on the first lap. Gateway, they weren't quite as fast, but they were decently fast, and they wrecked. Bristol, he was crazy fast in that first stage, and his car catches on fire. And then he gets wrecked, and this one is able to continue and drives completely through the field. And if you look at any speed metric, he was faster than the 12 for pretty much that entire third stage. You just couldn't get by him.
I picked Chase Elliott. Going from P27 to P5 at Loudon is nothing to sneeze at. So yeah,
And roll with him. I'm worried it's a one-off. I'm a little not optimistic.
You get Kansas next week though.
That's true.
No, that's kind of like your litmus test. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you going to race for the win at Kansas
and the Roval?
The Roval, the Roval's the Roval.
Yeah, the Roval's the Roval.
There was a time where he could wreck on his own and still win.
That aura is unmatched from that Roval. Like, he has not matched that aura since that Roval. I feel like at the Roval.
Yeah, now he's got that kind of,
there was a time where Buddy was so good on points that he could just go out there on side quest trying to wreck Kevin Harvick. Like,
well, hopefully, Chris, your guy comes around this week.
If he don't, I don't think he's coming around at the Roval of all places. Let's be honest. So
it is crazy though, because like we haven't been. I mean, Michigan's, I guess, but like we haven't been on a traditional 1.5 miles since the 600.
Yeah,
and even if you count Michigan though, the 9 was super fast at Michigan. That was an AG disaster class, and Kansas he probably should have won.
Well, you're always going to have that factor of the AG Masterclass call coming late in a race or something stupid with a Hendrick Motorsports pit crew. It seems like this playoff. So we'll see what happens. I'm not super confident in Chase, but I think that maybe this week will build that confidence if he has a good performance.
I mean, I feel, considering the 2 tracks left, I feel optimistic being plus 14. I mean, I'm not confident, no. Optimistic, I would be.
Yeah. I'll get to that later. All right. So Denny Hamlin had some comments about Penske at Phoenix. Cam, you kind of touched on it a little bit. Chris, what do you kind of make of that? About he's saying that we got to hope that Penske wrecks at Phoenix because we can't touch them.
I think it's a little crazy, but it's also not unrealistic. I mean, the way they've run at, Phoenix of all places, they've shown that just in the last couple of years. Plus, I mean, how Ryan looked, just this week and all season, really, he's been strong. I think I've said it before. He's probably my consistent through the playoff rounds right now, unless barring like bad luck. So yeah, I mean, I just think it's crazy that he's just openly out there like, man, we need him to. We don't really have a chance unless Penske wrecks. I mean, have a little confidence in yourself, Denny. I feel like it's a good season, but he's also been the bridesmaid a few times in his career, so I guess I can understand that too.
Yeah. I don't know. Gibbs has been like so hot lately that like I feel like they're not giving themselves enough credit. I mean, that they can make it a fight, but
I think the reason he said that, well, one, he didn't actually say he didn't actually verbatim say he needed them direct, but Jared Allen asked him on Actions Detrimental was like, they're Penske title favorites, and he's like, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know, they're kind of untouchable right now because I think the reason he said that is because New Hampshire has the same tire, same aero package, the same everything as Phoenix. Which weirdly, even though Gateway resembles Phoenix more, according to Hamlin anyway, has a different rules package. So even though Hamlin just won a Gateway, which is the most like Phoenix track on the schedule, apparently they don't have the same package. So I think he said that because we just ran to New Hampshire with the exact same tires, rules, aero, etc. And even Josh Berry was probably the fastest car on the racetrack, and he's their fourth car. Like, it wasn't really. There was no point in that race where you felt like anybody that wasn't under the Penske stable was going to win that race. I'm sure that's probably why I said
that. Randall Burnett, crew chief for Kyle Busch, is going to Trackhouse to conduct Connor Zilich's first season in Cup. I'll throw two questions out there. One, is this a good move? And two, does he share any of the blame for Kyle Busch's success at RCR being very front-loaded, to say the least? Cam, I'll start with you.
Good move, sure. I definitely support giving a veteran crew chief to Connor Zilich. In terms of blame on him with Kyle Busch thing, it's hard to really throw blame any one way. I think that's that's become just kind of an unmitigated disaster at this point. I don't really even think anybody in that on that team, even at this point, really cares that much.
Chris.
Yeah, I think it's a great. I'm high on him, honestly, on Randall Burnett. I liked him with Tyler Reddick. I followed him because he came into the Xfinity Series with Tyler Reddick. He was his crew chief there, and they moved up to the Cup Series together. So I like Randall Burnett. I think he's going to be good for Connor. But also, yeah, I don't know that he's got a lot of that blame. Kind of like Cam said, I think it's just become a disaster as a stable. They're not competing like the cars, whatever it is, whether it being the fact that they're now arguably the third Chevrolet team, being behind Trackhouse and Hendrick. I don't know, and Spire, even some could argue. But I think it'll be good for him to get out of there, a fresh start. Plus, he's going to a team where, they've had better equipment. While they haven't had the performances, they've had better equipment. So I think that'll be good for them.
All right, that'll do it. We'll see who steps up to the Kyle Busch. What do they call that? Sitting on the stand. Is that what it is? The stand or the crew box or pit box? Sorry, yes, pit box. We'll see who steps up to Kyle Busch's pit box in 2026.
I know he's under contract, but like, at what point does he just give it up, man? Like, it seems like he's not even enjoying himself out there. Like,
no, not at all. He needs. He shouldn't have signed that extension. He should have just he should have taken the lesser team, because lesser teams are outperforming RCR right now.
And also, literally, like, every team in the world would hire him to be some kind of analyst or race operations guy. He could go get a cushy job that would pay him a really good amount of money, and he wouldn't have to deal with it.
I think he's got all alternate agendas right now. I think he's waiting on his son to get old enough to hit the Truck Series is the big thing, because he's always been big on wanting to race a season of trucks with his boy. So I think that might be
retires, though. Like, somebody, even if he stepped back from RCR right now, because how old's Brexton? 13? 12?
Yeah, he
Pretty
has
close.
to be. Yeah, he's close. He's in his teens now, I'm pretty sure.
Braxton Busch is. God damn it. There's no way he's only 10.
Yeah,
that might actually be right. To be frank.
Yeah, I feel like he's older, but that could be right.
I'm just saying, like, I can't.
Guys racing that kid, he's 10 years old. Fuck.
You got to be 16 to be in the Truck Series. I can't see Kyle sticking around a Cup for 6 years.
Not that, no, because his plan, the last I heard him speaking, and it was on one of the podcasts, whether it be Juniors or Harvick's, I can't recall. He said he was going to race 2 or 3 more years Cup. Now this has been 2 or 3 years ago, fair enough, right? And then he was wanting to give Brexton time to get into the Truck Series on at least a part-time basis before he went down and raced a full-time season with Brexton in the trucks. Then he was going to call it quits after that from full-time racing. So maybe he steps away, like I said, like you think, from the Cup Series, because I wouldn't want to put myself through that RCR hell for another
I mean,
5 or 6 years.
You could like completely step away from racing, and even if it's 6 years from now, that's the Truck Series, dude. Like there will be a truck team that will give Kyle Busch a full-time ride.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no answers for the Kyle Busch saga at this point. Like, you can argue
It's sad
it's
to watch.
retirement age, equipment. Yeah, I was gonna say it's just a wash altogether at this point.
It's super sad to watch. Even guys who probably hated him, 5-6 years ago are like, this sucks. Like,
Harvick actually came out and said something about it recently. Like, I saw a quote this morning on his podcast where he's like, everybody I think wants to see Kyle Busch win. He was like, and I've hated Kyle Busch in my career as a NASCAR driver. He was like, but even now I want to see Kyle Busch win. Like, it's depressing to watch one of the sport's greats just go out like that.
it's awful. But all right, DraftKings going to Kansas. We have matchups this week, fellas. First things first. Ross Chastain versus Tyler Reddick.
That could be a good one, depending on what teams show up.
Recently at these style of tracks, Chastain.
I'm taking Ross too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ross, just like Cam said, due to recent performance, but it could be a close one depending on what shows up.
Another pretty good battle. Battle.
Babble?
Yeah, I want to go to bed. Bubba Wallace versus Chase Briscoe.
Briscoe. I think Briscoe's consistent.
Briscoe's on a heater. I'm gonna roll with him another week. We'll see how much longer.
BR's not here to say Bubba, so
also, like, for whatever reason, like I was talking about it in the group chat. Like, we all remember the 23-11 dominance at Kansas for like a year and a half, but it just completely disappeared last few.
Yeah, Bubba wrecked in the spring, ran 17th in 2024 in both races.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's gone. Like, I don't know what happened, but it's gone.
Reddick, 17th this year, 25th and 20th.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
Obviously, in 2023, he fucking crushed it, but
it's crazy.
Not great. Chase Elliott versus Joey Logano. I'm taking Chase. Like, I gotta think.
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna
this is
roll
the
with
week.
my guy here. I have to think so after coming off a good performance, right? That he could carry it into a track where he probably, arguably, could have won the last time they were there, minus the the pit mistake. But yeah, I'll roll with Chase.
I mean, on speed, it's clearly Chase. It's one of those races where you get that nagging feeling of like, this is one of those where Logano just somehow ends up in the lead at the end, and it's just like
fuel mileage for
how did this happen? Like, there's 14 cautions. Like, what's happening? Like, there's just certain races you go, this could be one of those.
He's only got one top 5 here in the next year.
But I remember he was at the front of that one where Reddick won, and I'm like, where the hell? Like, okay, Paul Wolf, chill.
And the last one, Kyle Larson versus Denny Hamlin. I'm taking Denny, dude. Larson hasn't fucking been here. Like, I know he was fast at Loudon. First time in a while that a Hendrick car was kind of competitive at Loudon.
He was the fastest car at, like, Gateway until that happened. Like, he just got out of sequence, but, like, that's the bitch of it. We haven't been to one of these type tracks in like 3 months.
And Denny Hamlin is the underdog.
That's crazy.
That's because it's Kansas. But
I'm taking Denny all the way. I'm pretty confident about that. I feel like that's a lock for me. I'll see what they're at qualifying and practice, but as of right now, that Denny Hamlin bet's a lock for me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be different. I don't think I'm gonna take Larson, not just really because I think that Hamlin's not gonna be great. It's Kansas.
anything could happen.
Just that curiosity. What did Kyle Larson do at Kansas in the spring?
He won
it.
Yeah.
It was belt to ass. Okay.
His stats.
Probably why you forgot.
His stats at Kansas in the next gen are absurd. That's why he's
first, fourth, second, 8th, second, and a 26th in the fall last year.
And then if you go the year before the next gen, he swept Kansas when he won the championship. So
crazy to me.
I'm pretty sure he swept Kansas. He definitely won at least one, but I'm pretty sure
He won the fall one. He finished 19th in the spring.
Oh, that's what it was. That's the Bushy McBush race. Kyle Busch won that race, and Larson was at the front of that thing and just decided to take Ryan Blaney with him into the wall. That was on the last restart. That's what that was. Okay, but either way,
Bush race.
And it was funny because it was the Bushy McBush race, but then Kyle Busch won it.
Yep.
I feel like it was a missed opportunity getting Kyle Busch or Kurt Busch a Busch sponsorship, but
totally was.
Well, by the time they came back into the sport, they were either a little washed.
All right, so those are your matchups for the weekend. Go ahead and get in on those. As far as race winner, got some solid bets going on. Solid opportunity. BR is taking Larson, who, as you guys would imagine, is the heavy favorite, plus 370. Cam, where are you going with this?
It's so, again, I've said it multiple times. It's difficult because we haven't been to one of these racetracks in a long time. But who I remember being the consistent fastest car at these tracks at that time, despite the fact he never seemed to be able to finish one, Carson Hocevar.
And you can get Carson Hocevar at plus 4,000.
Which is crazy because if you think back, Michigan, he was leading when his tire went down. Charlotte, he was the fastest car when his engine exploded. Nashville, he was if there was 5 more laps, he might have caught Blaney and won the race. And that's the last time we've been at anything resembling a normal intermediate.
If he wins, I'm going to be the most annoyed that I've ever been. Chris.
I actually went probably with right up there with Larson, low-hanging, but I went with Bell. He has no wins at Kansas. He's only got...
We should have a win at Kansas.
Yeah, no wins at Kansas, but he's also got 4 career poles at Kansas too. So like the dude and the team know how to run.
3 straight between 23 and 24.
If Joey Logano wasn't like drawing pentagrams and praying to Satan at last year, Bell would have won. Or was it the year before? Whatever year that was. It was last year.
He was runner-up in the spring.
Yeah,
it's when Logano saved gas and Blaney, who had wrecked, was just pushing him a lap down, and Bell was trying to catch him on actual speed, and at the checker they were like that far apart. I think it was last year.
Vegas. You're thinking of Vegas.
Am I thinking of Vegas?
Yeah.
It's the same track, bro.
What? I remember it because I was watching the Bowman cam, and he was on a very similar strategy as C-Bell, obviously a little further back. But
you're right, it was Vegas. Yeah.
But I remember them having kind of the same conversation. All right. Kansas, huh? How weird can I get with this?
Most of our thing was a complete punt just because I got one right last week. I can afford to get a little weird.
I hope he eats the wall.
I got Bell at Bristol, right? So I'm good. Gotten one in the last couple weeks.
Fuck it. Brad Keselowski.
I mean, the
was fast last week or last time out. So
he was leading when he wrecked last time.
So eventually, that bet's gonna hit.
I don't know, Chris. You already followed up your picking someone to win with picking Tyler Reddick at a flat track.
Yeah. I'd fall for that one again, right? Him and Chris Buescher, I feel like it's been all season. You're like, this week, Tyler Reddick or Chris Buescher is going to win, and then
it's just for some reason, Buddy, his whole career, whether it's the 8 or the 45, Buddy sees flat tracks and is terrified. He'd be having nightmares about no banking.
Can't run that wall.
Get my leverage.
Yeah, exactly.
Where will my downforce come from?
I have to use the goddamn brake. Fuck.
That's what it is. He's afraid of the brake.
Yeah.
I mean, at 2311, those things explode every so often.
I would be afraid of the brakes too. Driving for 2311.
Damn it. That's why last year when he made the championship four, everybody went, "Well, he ain't winning it."
He breaks at Phoenix. Nope, he's not winning.
All right, so here is what we're looking at for the playoff standings before we sign off. Bubba Wallace -27,
Gone forever.
Tyler Reddick -23,
Gone forever.
Austin Cindric -19,
Probably gone forever.
and then the bubble battle is Ross Chastain -12, Chase Briscoe +12.
Potentially alive, but probably gone forever.
A lot of things can happen, but God, I mean, with how
everybody underneath there is going to need somebody that's like +20 or less to wreck somewhere.
So Blaney's obviously safe. Byron's +47. Larson's +41. Seabell +29. Denny Hamlin +27. Joey Logano +24. Chase Elliott +14. And then Briscoe +12.
Chase Briscoe is the funniest possible elimination in this round. After the last month and a half, he just gets eliminated in the round of 12.
The fire's just out like that.
Chris is absolutely terrified of joining me on the couch.
I just don't see it. It's like Bubba and Reddick are so far behind unless they just turn in a vintage Kansas performance.
That's what I was going to say. That would be what they need.
And 23-11, I don't know. Maybe it's just starting to feel like they're a little distracted.
Cindric's, I mean, he's got to get some stage points at Kansas to have any chance, and then he's banking all on the road course.
I feel like Cindric's just a step up from Ty Gibbs at this point. Like, because he can win, that's really the same.
It's the same thing. It's just Penske doesn't care because he'll tick off a plate win somewhere.
Yeah. And Cindric's likable. Ty Gibbs is a douchebag.
That's true. And then Chastain, he's been really good on road courses this year, and Kansas is a good track for him. I wouldn't rule it out.
Ross is the one I feel like could just throw a dominant performance out of nowhere at some point.
Yeah, especially at Kansas, he's won there.
Yeah,
they won their last ball, I believe.
Yeah. And then the last time we were at a traditional mile and a half,
Coke 600.
Yep. Came from 40th. So, yeah, I don't know. The Briscoe thing, I would just have to laugh. I think everyone just have to laugh after like all of this in the last month and a half. Buddy just sputters away in the round of 12.
Yep. And did any of us have him getting bounced? No.
I mean, no, there's no way after what he was doing.
No.
We
all gave Bubba a little more credit than maybe he deserved, but
well, we also didn't. I think we all just looked at New Hampshire as a spot where he'd be really good, and they were just that whole team was terrible.
Yeah, so nothing super surprising. Although I am feeling pretty good about keeping Elliott in my being the only one keeping Elliott in my round of 12.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't showing us nothing, but he's. I did say though that these are after New Hampshire. These are good tracks for him, and he really overperformed to what I expected out of him at New Hampshire. So,
alrighty, friends. Well, Chris, what do you got coming this week?
Just our picks piece, and then me and the wife are gonna try to put out an episode this week. That's gonna be the goal anyway. We got kids, so you know how that rolls. But other than that,
don't. But I sympathize.
Yeah, you know how it goes for me anyway. As much as I complain about it.
Yeah,
that's how it
is. Dad life for sure. All right. Well, enjoy Kansas, fellas. Enjoy the college football stuff that we got this weekend. Go check out my other podcast, Explicitly Unbiased. Just dropped an episode today. We'll have our college football one going live on Thursday. Chris, we'll have to get you in on one of those.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But yeah, thank you all for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you all next week after Kansas, and prepare you for the slog that is going to be the Roval. Catch you then.
Woo!